Perfect. So we just received an award at MDNO in Shanghai for the most investment value, best technology in spine at NAS, as well as by Orthopedics this week, and an Arch Grants Award. This is a personal journey. My cousin, uncle, and father all needed or had failed spine fusions or is going to have one. And what I recognized as a distributor, working my way up through it as an executive in orthopedics and spine, where there were significant failures, particularly in spine fusions. And so I sketched out an idea in the OR in 2009 that's become Illuminate. Our goal is to reduce these reoperation rates. Specifically where we can do the greatest global good is in spine. However, this is a platform technology and can be applied towards any implant, orthopedic implant. What we recognize here is the failures across the board in the platform of orthopedics and spine typically could have been resolved potentially with biologic therapeutics. However, they needed the initial biomechanical stability. And that's the gap in the market, right? Is how to combine those. So our focus is creating the first therapeutic hardware in the world, which delivers 3D, we print 3D printed porous orthopedic and spine hardware to deliver three areas of focus to treat osteoporosis, diabetes, and oncology through our hardware. Even though we have better hardware in theory, the revision rates are not going down. So that tells us that there's a complex interplay of factors. And about 1 out of every 2 patients has a screw loose who's had a spine fusion. Now, if we look at it, this is a paper from Dr. Zadpour that was published in 2020. So think about it in theory. If you're putting something on the wall and something heavy on a wall, and you're looking at 3 different types of walls to hang your painting or whatever on, you're not going to choose vertebral bone. So that explained to me why we were having these failures, particularly in the spine. Here's what it looks like on X-ray, and this is intraoperative X-ray. You'll notice 1 month later, this is what screw loosening looks like. Again, 1 out of every 2 patients have this. So in spine fusions. So what we did was we took the trabecular pattern of bone and applied it to a pedicle screw situation. And as you screw in the screw, bone collects within those pores, creating a biological ripple effect in and of itself, just with the hardware alone. However, we have the unique ability to draw in bone marrow for diagnostic purposes, but also to re-inject it for therapeutic purposes, because as the stem cells, the goal is to allow those stem cells to collect in those pores with the autograft, because stem cells are like chameleons, right? They turn into what they touch. So we have the first organic process to stimulate stronger, better, harder, faster bone surrounding and within the screw. But we also are the first ones in the world to pass FDA's testing for pedicle screws. This is what it looks like, drawing it in. I won't go into too much detail on that. You can see it for yourself. At 4 weeks, as you get closer to the trabecular pattern of bone built into your hardware, you get about double the amount of stronger, better, harder, faster bone. When you look at the failure mechanisms of spine fusions, they're typically within the first few months or a big pivotal moment. So if you can strengthen that surrounding bone just with the hardware, and again, this is just with the hardware alone, we get up to 4 times better, stronger, harder, faster bone surrounding the screw. So we're creating a new category of therapeutic hardware with the goal to reduce revision rates globally, and with the intent to have a new CPT code. This is what the competition looks like. It's just a smooth screw. Some of them have holes at the distal tip to inject cement, but that's about it. 7 patents filed, 5 trademarks, and we have 9 more patents in the patent library to file. We are in FDA submission, anticipating clearance in February. The alpha launch will be immediately following, and we will have our key opinion leaders performing at the alpha launch. Beta launch anticipated around July or August. The pedicle screw market's about $3 billion currently, and we have a distributorship equity partnership to give them shares within the company. The campaign is why not? If we're not changing anything about surgical technique, cost, or preoperative and postoperative care, we're simply delivering options that never before existed in hardware. Why wouldn't you try it? The direct-to-patient campaign is my story. I was in the middle of a divorce, got hit by a drunk driver, and needed brain surgery, told my employer I needed brain surgery, and they let me go 2 weeks later, even though I was #1 or #2 in the world. So it's a powerful story of somebody just betting on themselves, going to WashU, investing in themselves, and it seems to capture some attention within the market. We're looking around 30 million in sales in 2027 but that is not, keep in mind, that is not our blowout number, but that's a moderate estimate. We have, here's what the market looks like, and we have strategic partnerships in play. Our team has over 200 years of experience in orthopedics and spine. We're at Duke, WashU, UCSF, University of Missouri, and Cox Health for a regional perspective, as well as an international advisory team for commercialization as well as regulatory. Our regulatory advisors consisted of Dr. Lisa Ferreira, as well as we had advice from Mark Melkerson, the former FDA director. We've raised 1.6. We are closing out that round in the convertible note probably next month. And we are starting our 15 million equity raise in milestones. The first tranche will be about 5 million. And with that, I'm open to any questions. Feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn.